Here to give us his analysis of the AFC and NFC championship games happening today is Mike Leon, former sports producer and host of the Can We Please Talk News Commentary podcast. Mike, good to see you. So what do you think here? Which team has an edge in New England versus Denver in the AFC championship? And keeping in mind, Denver's loss of starter Bo Nix.
Hey, Don, good to see you. Yeah, on a Sunday, talking sports, right? A little bit of a respite from what's happening in the world of news.
Exactly.
So in terms of the AFC side of this, this is, if you're a Bills fan right now, you got to be kicking yourself, Don, because a missed opportunity, especially with Bo Nix's injury, like you just mentioned, on the Broncos side. You could have had, the AFC Championship game in New England on the Eastern Seaboard, Bills fans heading over there. But instead, we get the Broncos, who were the number one seed this year, who a lot of people felt were ripe for the picking. And New England's going to go in there. Their hot young quarterback in Drake May, no quarterback with Bo Nix, and now Jarrett Stidham's going to have to play. And he hasn't thrown or completed an NFL pass in, I believe, 3 years since 2023. So everything's on the Patriots today. All the pressure's on them. They're going to have to go on the road. Obviously, the tough Mile High Stadium and conditions that will be there and will affect the game potentially. Also, not only the travel schedule, the altitude, but I think the Patriots are prepared. Mike Vrabel, obviously, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been a long time New England football player. Now he's brought them in year one, turned them around. So I think New England's got the edge in this game. I'd be shocked if Denver wins, but again, it's mainly because of the quarterback position and no Bo Nix.
Okay, I have to bring up the weather. Do you think the storm and the low temperatures are going to appear as a factor today? And if so, how much of a factor?
Yeah, I mean, both of these teams, love to run the football. That's both of their coaches, and Sean Payton and Vrabel love running the football. So, I mean, again, will it play a factor? They're both cold weather teams. Both of them are used to this. You saw the conditions last week in New England where it was really raining and coming down at different times of the game, and that affected the Texans and C.J. Stroud. So I don't affect it. I don't think it'll have a huge impact on the game unless we get some torrential storm where you can't even, see in front of your face. And I don't know what the conditions are like right now in Colorado, but I think that both of these teams will try to establish the run. Look, it'll probably be a low scoring affair. I think last week it was pretty good weather with respect to the Bills and Broncos, and that game went overtime, which is why you saw such a high score. But there was a lot of turnovers in that game. I think ball security obviously is always going to be important when you're at this point, Final Four teams playing for a championship. Don't turn the ball over. Both coaches will be stressing that today, Don.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Last week, there was a very pivotal call in the Denver's versus Buffalo game as both the offensive player and the defensive player came down with Josh Allen's pass in overtime. So it was ultimately ruled an interception. Can we get your thoughts on that? What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those plays. It's such a bang play, and the fact that they reviewed it. The biggest thing that people don't understand is when a play is under review by the league, right? You have to kind of scrap the rule just for a second and look at what they called on the field. And because they called an interception on the field, that's why they didn't overturn it and they kept it as an interception. But it's such a bang play there. Obviously Cooks looks like he had it, and the defending player takes it away from him as they're flipping over, and he comes up standing up with it. So to the referees, because it's such a bang play, Don, it gives the illusion and the appearance of, hey, I intercepted this ball, and that's why they ruled that way. Had there been a little bit more of a struggle on the ground and then he comes up with it, obviously then it'll go to the offensive player per the rules. But I think it's such a bang play. Look, that's not the reason why Buffalo lost. I think any Bills fan will tell you that. I think Sean McDermott now, who's been fired as Bills coach, will tell you that's not the reason why they lost. They had a pivotal stretch right before half and in the beginning of the third quarter where they really lost that game. Bunch of turnovers, gave points very easily to Denver that they shouldn't have. But such a bang play. I think the league maybe got it wrong, but again, they ruled it an interception, so you got to stay with it.
Okay, let's talk a bit on the NFC side. What do you make of the Seahawks and the Rams game? Which team do you think has a slight edge?
Yeah, great question, Don, because I don't know if either of them have a slight edge. These two teams have played their last 4 meetings have been decided, I believe, by a total of 8 points between these guys. And it's been split 2-2, right, in terms of who's won. So Matthew Stafford's played great in the last 2 games, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions against the Seahawks. Sam Darnold back in November didn't play that well in Los Angeles with 4 interceptions. But even with those 4 interceptions, Don, they only lost by less than a field goal. So again, what will the weather conditions be like in Seattle? Last time they played, Thursday night game, a crazy game, 38-37, a ruling on the field in terms of a ball that was batted down, picked up, ran in for a 2-point conversion. One of the craziest games I've ever seen. I don't think we'll see a lot of that today. I think the Rams didn't have Devontae Adams in that game. They get him back. Obviously, for this game, he just had a good game last week. They've got the best wide receiving core. They've got a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I think they're the best team. I think they have the best coach. I think they go in today into Seattle, and I think they win the game. I trust Matthew Stafford a little bit more than I trust Sam Darnold, so I'm going to go with the Rams today, Don.
All right, we'll see. We'll find out. Just one last question here. The finalists for the league's MVP award were announced this week, right? With Drake May and Matt Stafford considered the front runners. Who would your vote go to?
I wish I had a vote, right, Don? I would probably go with look. Drake May's had a great year, and the renaissance that they've had in New England. Although I'm a Raiders fan, and I still think Tom Brady fumbled decades ago, so I hate to see the Patriots have another young quarterback that they're going to build around, and that they're at this pinnacle right now where they're in another AFC Championship game and potentially going to the Super Bowl. I like Drake May a lot. Loved him out of college at UNC, but I think Stafford has had the better year, and he's done that too with some injuries. Nobody knew if he was going to actually play this season because of some back injuries that he had at the beginning of the year. And now he's played really well, not only in these playoffs, but the last 5 or 6 games, getting the Rams into this position. I mentioned already, he's won a Super Bowl in Los Angeles ever since they traded for him with Detroit. I would give the edge to Stafford, but I also think it also depends on, who gets to that Super Bowl, right? But either way, you can't go wrong with either one. They both had phenomenal seasons. The Patriots have had, like I said, the bounce back season, and the Rams are in the playoffs yet again under McVay and a chance to go to another Super Bowl.
Well, all right, Mike, good to talk to you, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Thanks, Don.